Happy 35th anniversary to Final Fantasy. This is a series I was not into when it first came out because I wasn't born yet, but I got into due to being a fan of Kingdom Hearts and just over time just kind of trying different FF games and watching Final Fantasy games and just getting really into the series and the characters and just a lot of aspects of it. I just kind of wanted to make a video here, just kind of go over different aspects of, what games are my favorite, what characters, music, things like that. So, hopefully you enjoy. Again, it's mostly just my thoughts, what I like about certain things, and yeah, again, hopefully you enjoy, and on we go. So, how I got into Final Fantasy as a series and franchise. Now, I kind of already alluded to this, but I played Kingdom Hearts. Well, watched my friend play Kingdom Hearts first time, but I really got into it because of it. Now, I remember my friend that I watched play Kingdom Hearts, got me Final Fantasy VII. Because I had a PS2, he didn't, but he got me Final Fantasy VII, and I remember playing it, enjoying it, but I remember getting to, I forget what section it was, but every time I tried going into the place, it always just blacked out. And would never do anything past that. It's just black out, and I couldn't progress. So, I guess I can't play the game more. So, yeah. But yeah, I think the next kind of cycle or the next thing that I got into with the series was around 2013 time. 2012-2013 time. I played Final Fantasy VI first time and loved it. Just start to finish. I remember it being one of the few games that actually got me pretty, hit hard on certain parts, and I remember wanting intentionally to grind up and wanting to go fight and defeat Kefka because I wanted everyone to be powerful so we could just bring him down. It was that kind of thing for me. Eventually I played Final Fantasy VII. Eventually I played Final Fantasy IX. I've played Final Fantasy 1 and 2. I've still never played 3, 4, 5. I played a little bit of 8, but never to full completion. Just a little bit. I played a little bit of 12. Again, it's kind of the same thing. Still never fully to completion. And kind of the same thing for, obviously, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I obviously have played and looking forward to Rebirth at the time of this video. But yeah. Final Fantasy X, I haven't actually fully played either. But I've watched basically all of the Final Fantasy games because, one of my favorite YouTubers and streamers, Lore Runner, has done lore runs of the whole series, and that's kind of one of the ways that I've gotten into the series even more. Thinking about characters and themes and all that fun stuff. But I do plan to rectify not playing certain FF games in the coming year. The coming year being 2023. Also because I want to play a lot of Final Fantasy because FF16 is coming out. So definitely looking forward to that. I should also say I've obviously played FF15. I've played a good chunk of that, but again, never played the completion. Mostly because when I stopped was when they announced that they weren't going to do the other DLCs. So I was kind of like, well, what's the point? That was kind of my reasoning for that at the time, but yeah. Again, I'll probably be playing through that as well. But yeah, it's just a series that I've come to really enjoy and love, and yeah, and I was just gonna say that it's become one of my favorite things in games or just in media in general. So yeah, so that's really all to really say about my getting into the series. Nothing, really spectacular, whatever. It's just kind of, I got into it, got interested and introduced to it through Kingdom Hearts. So yeah, so on to the next part. Now I'm going to talk about some of my favorite characters in the series. Obviously, with the music playing, I'll just start with like FF9. Now, I love Vivi. Just off the bat, love Vivi as a character. Love and just feel for his whole story and all that happens in that game. FF9 is one of my favorite games in the series, but yeah, Vivi in particular is just one of those characters I just really enjoy. And also, when I first actually played through FF9 on stream, Vivi was kind of the character that really pulled us through a lot of early fights, so that was kind of a little bit extra liking for Vivi. I liked a lot of the other characters too, like Steiner. I like his growth, the story. Garnet or Dagger is a pretty awesome character, her growth. Freya, yeah, is cool. I like her. Everyone else, I don't know why I'm blanking on the characters, but love that cast of characters. Love Kuja as a villain. Kuja's cool, and also pretty tragic. It's also mentioned Zidane, obviously. He's a good character. Yeah, but yeah. So other characters in the series I love. Obviously Cloud and Tifa, Aerith, Red 13, Barrett, Sid, Yuffie. The whole FF7 group. Just again, I love their characterization. I love how well done they are as characters. Yeah, again, I do love the FF7 remakes way of characterization of the characters a lot. They really flesh them out quite well. Looking forward to, everyone else being shown off, but it's a good job so far on that. FF6, obviously my favorite game of the series. You got Terra, Edgar, Sabin or Sabin, whatever, Gal, Celis, Locke, again, it's hard to remember just every single character's name, but Cyan, who I love using in gameplay, and a lot of that, his story in particular is quite heartbreaking. Yeah, I just love those characters so much. I love so much about FF6. Again, you know, and I think this is also another thing of why I really want to try to play all the FFs as much as possible, so I can kind of really get more of a personal appreciation for some of these characters. Like, because I've not played every single game. Like, I've watched like FF10 played through a good few many times. I know the characters, but there is a little bit of a difference when you are playing these games and kind of how each character works in gameplay for you. So, you know, but I like the, you know, group there. I like Tidus and Yuna and Auron, obviously. Auron's awesome. But again, there's a lot of the other characters, you know, from FF6. You know, I love the cast of FF4. Again, I would really love to play that game in particular. I think that's one of the games I really want to play that I have not actually played yet. Again, this 2023, this is, you know, coming up soon here. I just wanted to play a lot of the FFs. Because again, I want to get more of a, you know, feel and connection and have more of a actual opinion about what I like and don't like about each game, if that makes sense. Also just because it makes hype for FF16 and yeah. But you know, I like a lot of the characters of FF12. Balthier is my favorite character there. Again, just so many characters there that I thought were really cool. Again, it's kind of one of those weird things where I think you could have had someone else be the lead character. I kind of understand that, but again, it's another game I kind of want to look forward to playing. But also the other thing is I love about FFs, I love the villains. There's so many good villains there. Again, another game I just forgot. FF15, I like the party of 4. I like all 4 characters. They're all really cool, really well done characters. And Arden, speaking of villains, is a very good villain. I like him. Again, my favorite villain though is Kefka, but just because he's so enjoyable to, and also has a messed up backstory there too. But yeah. Again, it's some Final Fantasy and just a lot of Square Enix characters I just love a lot. But it's also kind of just bleeds over into Kingdom Hearts. Love so many characters over there too. But in terms of Final Fantasy, just characters are just one of the things that I just love about this whole thing. And you know, I think that's the thing. If the series didn't have these strong characters that it does, you know, I don't know if it would be quite as a beloved series as it is, because people have varying opinions about each character and each game and the characters in those games and that they like them or not, and you know, like I know a lot of people have kind of a contention about FF13, which I don't know if I'll actually be playing, because as of right now I don't really have a good way of playing the game myself, but or the trilogy of games. But and like there again, like I love the I'm blanking on his name, the villain for, or the antagonist I should say, for FF13 too. Forget why I'm blanking on his name, but I love his character. Also, Liam O'Brien really helps with the voice there, because Liam O'Brien is awesome. He is a awesome voice actor, one of my favorites. So, but yeah, just the characters again. You know, a lot of people talk about. I'll use FF7 as an example. A lot of people love Cloud. Tifa, Aerith, Barret, you know. My favorite character has always been Red 13. I've always loved having Red 13 in my party. I kind of am hoping in the remake that they really, really expand on his character more. Because basically it's kind of, you do the thing, go to Cosmo Canyon, you do the whole thing about Seto and learning about that your father was awesome. And then his character kind of just stops. I kind of hope that they do a lot more with him. But I love him in gameplay. I can't wait to play him in the Rebirth or whatever. But, and also because just the idea of Red 13 is just kind of awesome. You know, he's on 4 legs. It's cool. That, I don't know. I like his character. He's cool. But yeah. I think, before just going further on, I just wanted us to say, like, Final Fantasy has some really awesome characters. Some of my favorites might not be your favorites, vice versa, which is cool. And that's gonna happen, obviously, when you talk about this wide-ranging series of games and whatnot. Like, I love, again, speaking of FF7, I love Zack. Zack is awesome. And yeah, but before I go on too much further, I just wanted to talk about the characters. So yeah, so on to the next part. Now I'm going to talk about my favorite games in the series. Now, my favorite, I believe I've mentioned before, is Final Fantasy VI. It's just the culmination of everything: characters, music, the story, setting, villain, just everything just works for me. Really, really love just so many aspects of that game. Again, it's kind of why I chose it to be the picture for this section. But there's so many other things in Final Fantasy I love. There's so many other games that I love. Final Fantasy IX, for example, is probably my second favorite Final Fantasy that I've actually played. Again, like I've said, I've not played all the Final Fantasy games, so I don't really have a full-on. I just don't know if there'll be any game that will top FF6 per se, just because it's so good. Again, I love FF7. Love the story. I love the story of all the FFs that I've played, and I know, the stories from watching different people play them, but I feel safe that FF6 is my favorite. Again, I don't know, we'll see if that actually changes when I do go through as many games as I possibly can with the series. But yeah, just Final Fantasy VI is a game that when I first played it, I took multiple breaks just because certain parts just did kind of hit first time. Because, a lot of older games, you kind of have to make up in your mind and in your head about like what's happening exactly. Like it shows you what's happening, but the overall like the Cyan's castle being poisoned and whatnot. Now on when you play it, it's kind of you get the effect of it, but in your head you know it's there's more to it than there's a lot of other examples in the game, but like when the world is becomes the world of ruin essentially, it's kind of one thing why I would love to see. I mean, it's kind of weird to say that one thing I would love to see in FF6 remake would be just seeing the total, you know, implied this is what's happening, this is horrible kind of thing. And just a lot of the stuff that they could do in the World of Ruin really could really be, yeah. But again, like FF7, I've played the game so many times. I streamed the game a few many times. It's also really funny because the first time I ever played FF7, my friend gave me like a copy of the PS1 version. That for some reason, when I would get to when you're supposed to get onto the boat, that place, it would like the screen would go black and like nothing would happen. So it was like a faulty disc. So, and I knew like this is not where this is supposed to end. Obviously, this is a weird place to do that, but just the whole journey of going through FF7, going through Midgar or Midgard, Midgar, whatever. I've been playing God of War, and just the whole journey for those characters and just seeing the growth of a lot of the characters and Cloud and Tifa and Aerith and Barrett and all of them. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they, just seeing that played out in the remake or rebirth. But yeah, I really just so many locations in FF7. So many bits of the story that just hit, and every time you play through it, you always kind of get a little bit of a different, not outlook, but you might not notice certain things that you might have before, and remembering parts. And it's one thing I love about these games is that you remember a lot of the big stuff, but there's some small moments that you kind of generally don't fully remember, I guess. And I love that about this series. FF9 is, like I said, probably my second favorite currently in the series. It has a lot of moments in that are just like Vivi's whole, basically his whole world being like, oh gosh. And just Vivi's story in general is just really, really good. But and a little heartbreaking, and it's bittersweet in the end. But it's yeah, Vivi's one of my favorites, just in general, character-wise, of the whole series. I don't have a quote-unquote favorite character of the whole series. I just have many favorites I just enjoy. Like, I would say I would have favorites of each game, like favorite characters in each game, but yeah, like I've watched a lot of Final Fantasy stuff, and I like, kind of getting from the stories of it. I like Final Fantasy X's story. I like I like a lot of FF12. I love the setting of FF12. I love a lot of characters. I love a lot of stuff there. Again, it's kind of why I really want to play through the series again, when I can, for real, and just having more of a strong say in these games. Because, some people, I watch and some people say, well, this is blah, blah, blah to me, but will I feel the same when I actually play it myself? That's that kind of thing. Like Final Fantasy VIII, like I know some of the bits of why people don't like it, certain aspects of it, like the junction system or whatever. I don't know how it feels for me personally, so I can't really say if I like it or not. But there's elements about FF8 that I do like, and I like Squall as a character. I like a lot of reasons why I like Squall's Kingdom Hearts, but yeah. And again, like, I really love a lot of FF4. Just that story is quite good. Just the characters and how they, again, I repeat myself on something, but just the way the characters grow, the way the characters, what happens to characters and realizations, and it's all really good stuff. Like, I've played enough of FF15. I never really fully finished it, and I know that I get it, that some people say it's incomplete, and they weren't able to do all the DLCs or whatever to make the whole thing full, basically, but I still like quite a bit of elements about FF15. Again, like I mentioned, I love the party of 4. Like, that's like the strength of that game, which that's, that, of course, there are some characters that are a little lacking but again, they got the core 4 down pretty good. And Arden's a cool villain, but like, I don't really have much to say from like FF1, 2, and 3. There's aspects of each I like, but I've basically watched through all 3 like twice, and so I don't really have I like Mateus he's kind of cool. But like, in terms of stories and just all the aspects of what makes games really good, I don't know. But and FF1 is the beginning of the series, and it does have it has story stuff, and it's just very not what FF will eventually become, but and I've watched through like the Final Fantasy 13 series, the trilogy of games that has. There's part of me that would love to have a remaster of those 3 games, or something, because there's just some elements of the game that I wish were better, or maybe a remake. I don't know how many people would want a remake of FF13, but I feel like there are elements that they could make better. But overall, there's parts of FF13 that I thought were fine. FF13-2 was fine. FF13-3 or Lightning Returns or whatever. I don't really remember much actually of what happens in Lightning Returns. I remember quite a bit of 1 and 2, but I can't really say much about Lightning Returns personally. But it's kind of because again, like, my favorite thing about FF13-2 is Caius. I just remembered his name because I forgot his name. But yeah, Caius is a pretty cool villain. Or antagonist, technically. But yeah, there's many games in this series I do enjoy, and I believe I will enjoy them when I do finally play them. But yeah, I think it's, again, this series is just really good stuff. Characters and music and worlds, and just overall, like, I just feel good when I play these games. But again, there's other stuff like Final Fantasy Tactics, which I would love a remake or a remaster, something of that. That'd be great. But we'll see if that ever happens. Because Final Fantasy Tactics has some really good story stuff. But yeah, so before I go much further on this, there are many games in this series I love. Final Fantasy VI is my favorite. I know there's a lot of people that say FF6 is their favorite, but I understand why, and I don't know if it will be topped in terms of Final Fantasy. It's just that good to me. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So but anyway, on to the next part. Alright, so I just want to talk about the music of Final Fantasy, which, I mean, what else can be said about some of the amazing music that's in this series? Nobuo Uematsu is, and everyone else has, made music for the series. A lot of it's just so good. Again, Uematsu's just his style. So many good tracks that he's done for this series over many years. It's really just outstanding, just the amount of great stuff that he made for this series. There's so many amazing things like Dancing Mad, which is one of my favorite just pieces of music. Just in general, it's just such a really, really great piece of music. And it's really, really awesome, like when playing it for my parents or whatever, and they, my mom especially, really likes it, and a lot of other music from a lot of games actually. But yeah, I remember playing it and then just feeling really good how much they liked it. But yeah, again, just so many pieces of music. Like, my favorite piece of music in FF7 is actually Cosmo Canyon, and just all the music that takes place there. Again, it kind of fits right into my love of Red 13 or Nanaki. But One Winged Angel is obviously, iconic, amazing music that is. Again, it's kind of like one of those things of, what can you really say other than just so much of this music in these games just adds so much to these, Kefka's theme, so good. So much of the music for FF9 is really, really good. I know FF4 has really great soundtrack. FF8, I know, has a Man with a Shotgun, or whatever it's called. Yeah, really, really good track. And there's other songs like in FF10, like to Xanarkin, which is just instantly recognizable from the first couple of notes that you hear it and whatnot. But yeah, it's just so much of the music in all the games, whether it be from Uematsu or, Yokoshiro Mora, who did it in FF15, or, all the other composers who've done music for the series, they really know how to, a lot of them really know how to get across feeling with music. And again, in the case of Uematsu, it's a lot of the stuff that he was actually able to do with the music with very limited music making things at the time is outstanding, in my opinion. Just again, like Dancing Mad was made on, the SNES and I just, find that really, really amazing that was able to be made on that. Yeah, it's just so much music. Like I said, so much music is just, it does evoke some sort of emotion, some sort of feeling that, like whenever I hear Aerith's theme, you can't help but feel like, oh gosh, because that's what plays when, well, but again, it's just, there's so many things that one really could say, but it's really hard to just make, just make what I want to really fully say. Just, there's the music of these games are some of my favorite soundtracks in games. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing the soundtrack of FF16 from Soken. I think that's his last name, whatever. Because from what I've heard of his music in FF14, which I don't play because I'm not big of an MMO player, but if I were to play an MMO, it would be FF14, but I don't know if that'll ever happen. We'll see. But yeah, I really, really love his style of music. I really think it's really, really good stuff. And yeah, I think it's, again, just, what can you say that one probably already hasn't been said already? And again, I just love the music of these games. Like, even like the really early ones that, do have some really good themes for, like, here's your town song, here's your castle song, and here's your inn song, here's your shop song. They're all, like, really good, to me at least. But obviously as technology got better, they were able to make more and more, unique sounding pieces for different parts of the game, different characters, and all that fun stuff, and I love that. But again, like, as you see, like, on the screen, the opera scene in FF6, I know I keep coming back to FF6, but my gosh, the music is just so good. And like the opera part, and that they do this, where Celis has to sing and whatnot, and it's just really good. And again, the original, how that was made too, was just really interesting. And yeah, I really love it. But yeah, again, there are certain themes that, really do hit hard, especially when you play the games and whatnot, and they do hit harder. But again, like Aerith's theme, but or really any of the songs from the series. But yeah, I was really kind of hoping I was going to say more about the music because, well, again, I just love all of it, but like I could go through the games I've played and the music in those series, in those games, but I would feel like I would just start listing off tons and tons and tons of songs from all of the series and just, you know, but again, I would probably say though, if I had to pick like my favorite song of the whole series, it would be Dancing Mad, just because it is this long piece of music that I will say it's kind of a disappointment that it is the length it is, because when you fight, you know, and fight Kefka at the end of the game, most likely you're not going to be hearing the whole song. But when you do hear the whole thing, it is just so good. But yeah, it's, I guess before I continue ramble on about the music that I love in these games, I guess on to the next and I believe final part. Now, time for my general thoughts about this series and just, I guess, the importance of it as a game and series of games and all that. I really love, again, I've said it, I love the series. It is among my, it's right up there with Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts being my favorite game series. Final Fantasy's right up there with it. It's right up there with the Soulsborne series as well. And Dishonored, and there's so many series of games I love, but that I could probably make stuff all on, but yeah. But just my overall general thoughts about this series as a whole and the impact it has had for its 35 years now is pretty remarkable. And you know, I don't see it slowing down. So many people love the series, you know, new fans of it, you know, coming in, and older fans staying with it, and you know, just everyone just kind of coming into it and getting into the series, and it's really cool. It's really cool that the series has lasted this long. Has, you know, it's had its ups and downs in terms of quality, sure. I mean, all long series do, but it still speaks though to the love that a lot of people have for the series, that it has lasted this long and has remained relevant to many people. And I love that. I love that it's, you know, yeah, I love that people have just stuck with it, and you know, they have their favorites, they have their favorite characters, they have their favorite pieces of music, they have, you know, just favorites in all of the whole series, and you know, I do as well. We all do, but I really, really love that. I love seeing people being passionate about the games, being passionate about characters and these stories and how they, you know, hit us in different ways, and you know, it's something that I just love. That's a thing, you know. Again, I could say that about many other series, but yeah, Final Fantasy fans like really like super into it. Fans, yeah, I love seeing, you know, them talk about their love for the series and everything. And for more personal, like, what it means for me, that I believe that, you know, it's showcasing that games, it is one of the, you know, series of games that I look at and say, games are more than just, you know, they can be more than, just gameplay. They can have stories. They can have some amazing stories, better stories than a lot of movies or a lot of books and a lot of the things like that. And I really, really like that about this series. And I just, it's, again, you can point to a lot of other series that do that, but for a series that's gone on for 35 years now, it's something. And it's just something that I love seeing. Again, it's kind of like what I was talking about with the music, is that it's not just bloop, boop, boop, boop kind of stuff. It's big pieces of music that can be, you can put up there with other music from non-video games and such. But, yeah, I love the series, and I can't wait for, the new stuff to come out. I'm looking forward to all of it. And just seeing where this series is going to go to next, it's, like, I wasn't expecting things like Stranger Paradise to come out, but it did. I've still not played that. I do want to play it at some point. I did play 2 of the demos for it, I think, but I liked it. I do kind of want to play it at some point, but yeah, it's an important series for many people, and I think, many people obviously have said why it's such an important series to them than I possibly could, but I love it. I just love this series. I love many, many aspects of it. I love that they try different things each title. I like that they don't just stick with one thing, that they try new things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you always kind of appreciate that they try out, like FF16, is going with strong action focus, and not like FF15, which was kind of this weird action thing. But yeah, I'm not saying I have a preference to either one. I love action RPGs. I love turn-based. I don't really have a preference personally, as long as the game is fun and good and the story's enjoyable and good. That's all I care about. But yeah, it's such a amazing series to me. But before I ramble on much further, let's probably just call the video here. Yeah, this is a bit of a longer one than I've done before, but I just kind of wanted to do something a bit different for Final Fantasy, for this especially. I tried to go for a more scripted out thing, but it was more of a sectioned out thing, and I don't know, I enjoyed talking about different aspects of the series, and how I got into it, and just characters and games and music. Now, again, like I said, I do plan on playing much more of the series in the coming year, and I would probably have more of an opinion on the series then, but in terms of favorite characters, favorite music, favorite games, and all that fun stuff. But again, I just love the series. I love many aspects about it. But yeah, so happy 35th anniversary to Final Fantasy, and here's to many, many more years of this series. And yeah, so thank you everyone for watching, and as always, thank you for being awesome. And until next time.